planning, patience, and practicality. Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kyla, and if you're one of my returning subscribers, thanks so much for stopping by, because this is a little bit different than what I normally do. I thought I would start off 2025 sharing what my journey has been like and this whole YouTube universe trip that I've embarked on, and give you guys a few tips on how I plan things out and just what I follow as a guideline and not taking myself too serious with this. All right, so planning. I didn't jump into this with just turn the camera on and hope for the best, because I knew right off the bat that what I was going to be sharing with you guys is niche. I don't do the vlogs where I'm just telling you how my day went or we're driving along in the car, unless it's specifically attached to what I'm making for that particular episode of one of my videos. So I started off with Instagram in spring of 2023, and I'm kind of debating if I really needed it or not, because it's really I see it as a big advertisement reel. If you want to shop all night, if you want to see some comedy skits or whatever crazy dance challenges out there. But for me, I really need long form, which is why I've shifted my focus to more so into the YouTube atmosphere. So with the spring of 2023, that's when I started creating reels, and I was just creating them on my phone using an app called YouCut Editor, and it's a free app that I just Google searched and found it and have it on my phone. And I use that for my stock photos of myself and then small snippets of what I'm making, as well as when I put up a cutaway of, let's say, a pattern and I want you to see what I'm working on. I use it for that. But it really got me in the habit of how to put together a video with multiple clips. And it's very easy to navigate through. So I use YouCut Editor. And then for the thumbnails, I did a little research and found that most of the YouTube content creators use Canva, which is also a free app, unless you want to pay to unlock some other types of thumbnails and some other things that it does. I don't. I just use it for my basic needs and pretty much just shuffle the same thumbnails around and just change up the photos. So I use Canva, and that again is in a vertical format. So with what I take on my phone works well with me just uploading it to Canva site to create my thumbnails. I don't have the fanciest equipment, and definitely if you want to embark upon going onto YouTube, you don't need the fanciest equipment either. I started off with my phone, just using it vertical and then landscape if I need it. That's what I used to make my thumbnails and cutaways and even some close-ups over my machine when I want to put together clips for a highlight reel or something like that. I did get a camera stand, or camera/phone stand, and a ring light from Amazon. I got some Amazon gift cards, so they were a gift to myself. I didn't get the most high-end, high-tech ones. I probably got the cheapest ones that were on there, and they work just fine. Because I was not trying to break the bank with this, because my approach is very practical to all of this. And as far as my sewing equipment goes, I'm still using the same computerized brother, and I have a manual singer, and I have a Viking overlock serger machine that I've had for 20, 15, and 12 years. So yeah, I don't even have the highest high-end sewing equipment. I would love some one day. I would love one of those machines that have the really long extended arms so that I could get into purses and more work with leather and suede, but that's down the line, because that equipment, those machines, they're not cheap. So that's all I have for as the equipment that I use, and very basic, very accessible and very easy to find. Now you're probably wondering, well, if she just showed us her phone, what is this? See? Okay, stop. Hang on. I should have turned this down before I started talking. Okay, now it's done. I eventually got a Canon G7X, and I got it at the end of 2023. So it was kind of on its way out as being discontinued and not making any more of that particular model. I think it's on to, I don't know, G7X Mark II or Mark III, something like that. I'm not sure. But the one that I got was the vlogger's vlog camera. And I figured, okay, well, that'll work well enough for me. I like the price point, and I'm going to run this camera into the ground and use it until it no longer works. The last time I held on to an electronic so long, my last phone, I actually had it for 8 years. This phone is a S20. Yeah, so I've had this now going on 5 years. So I can hang on to some electronics to make them work. So yeah, that's the camera that I'm using, and it took a minute for me to figure out and focus on looking straight into the lens and not up at a viewfinder or off to the side like you'll see some content creators look because they're looking at themselves. But eventually, if you just practice, you get used to just looking into a lens. For my long form videos, I knew that I would have to switch over to an actual program that allowed me to make 15, 14, 45 minute, 60 minute movie length style videos. And I chose Adobe Premiere Pro. I think I stated in one of my past videos that I was familiar with the Adobe Creative Suite as far as Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop and InDesign and all that. So it just made sense for me to see what the Adobe Premiere Pro system was about. And it's involved. It is. It's, as my friend's husband stated, it's a whole different beast. and it is. But you know what? I'm willing to tackle that beast. Okay? Because I'm from here. So I don't tend to back down from, oh, it's too hard. I'm going to at least try it and try to give it my best when I go at it. As far as how to navigate through Adobe Premiere Pro, I haven't taken any classes, haven't taken any college courses or anything like that on it. I just went to YouTube University, and I've got a list of some of the other content creators that I found that were really helpful for me. One is, let's see, Premiere Gal. She really goes into depth in layman's terms with navigating through Adobe Premiere Pro when I need just quick answers to how do I put these clips together? How do I cross dissolve? How do I transition? Terms like that, very layman terms. And I also went to Heather Ramirez. She was very helpful with editing and some YouTube tips as well. Kevin Colby, he's another great one that he does content for the over 40 content creator, but anybody can go onto his videos and get tips from him. I believe he was in the movie production business and that he only works with Final Cut Pro, which I believe is just for Mac. I have a PC, so Adobe was the route that I took. So I'm not familiar with Final Cut Pro, but if that's what you want to use, he's a good source to go for that. Let's see who else. Oh, Justin Odisho. I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm not, sorry, Justin. But he's been very, 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 very good with some helpful tips on how to navigate through Premiere and how to make it look more like a movie quality style video without being a movie video. Which brings me to the last content creator that I go to. I found this channel called Studio Binder, and it really does go into detail with the movie style full effects, which I'm kind of dabbling more into that now that I've got a little bit of a bearing with the basics. So yeah, I'm very interested in seeing what else I can learn from that content creator too. And I'll list all of their information in my description box below. I thought of one more content creator that I go to, and her name is Jade Benson. And she's really a really good source in navigating through all the social media platforms. And she outlines her process and how quickly she was able to move along with her content creation and how she's been doing. So she's been really helpful with tips with Instagram. If you do TikTok, which I don't, YouTube, all the platforms. So she's another good one. And I'll put her information in the description box below as well. And since I'm very old-fashioned, I plan out all my videos and write them out in, yes, a planner. This is 2024, January through December, all done. And here is 2025, all set to go. And this is really helpful since I am the sewist, the videographer, the photographer most of the time, the assistant, the everything. So if you have a niche like sewing, cooking, woodworking, or something like that, it's helpful just to write down what you've done so that you don't have any repeats, and also so that you can keep the seasons organized as well. So. If you're going to embark upon this, definitely have patience and give yourself some grace, because I have heard other content creators state that, oh, it's quantity over quality. But in my case, I can't do that because it's long form and I can't just crank out sewing videos on the daily 3 times a week or 2 times a week, because I still work. I still have a job. So this is like my part-time job. And there's no way that I can just crank out videos at record speed. So I'm just enjoying a slow, natural growth, and I've progressed faster than I thought that I would. So I'm really pleased with that, and I can't wait for more big things to come in 2025. So definitely have patience with this, because use yourself as the guide. Don't put yourself or pit yourself against anyone else. And lastly, practicality. Take a practical approach to this and don't make it the be-all, end-all, because as I like to look at it, it is like a retail job where if you're fortunate enough to meet the criteria for YouTube and you get the amount of subscribers and the amount of watch hours, and then you can start that AdSense program, just know that that will fluctuate. Just like if you worked a retail part-time job, really the only people that are full-time are management. But everybody else, they may be scheduled 10 hours one week, 12 the next, 8 the next week. So your pay will fluctuate. And something that I've noticed that a lot of the content creators aren't really talking about, unless I just haven't come across any of these videos, but they're very quick to tell you how much they make from AdSense, but nobody's really talking about how you are working for Google. And if you reach a taxable income with whatever state you're in or however your country taxes, then you are very likely to have some taxes to pay when it comes to tax time. So I don't really hear anybody talking about that. I know that because I've worked in the financial industry for years and just from doing my own taxes. But I'm hoping that people don't just see these dollars as free money with nothing else attached to it. So keep that in mind as well. And then as far as anyone being negative or trying to downplay this or asking you, well, why do you want to do that? Or who knows, maybe they're fearful of going on camera and they want to push that fear onto you, because people will do that. Just all you can do is try it. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But at least you can say that you tried. And if they're too negative, just tell them to click off. All right, well, those are my 3 tips for how I'm navigating through YouTube, and hopefully they might help somebody out there who's thinking of trying this too. Remember, planning, patience, and practicality. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks so much for listening, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, everyone. Oh, and one more thing. Have fun with this, because as soon as you stop having fun, then it'll become draining, exhausting, and dreadful. because there is an amount of work that does go into this. So just remember that. Have fun. These aren't supposed to be your high-end scripted productions like we see on network television. Okay, now I'm gone for real. Bye.